So here we are, Iva and I are outside doing, in this chill, doing a video for you because we care. So here's what we want to do. This is the exterior of my house. And if you've watched the previous videos on the curb, on staging the curb, you know this is one of the most important rooms in your home because a buyer will make a decision between 3 and 30 seconds, and you want that to be a good decision. I have seen buyers pull up to the front of a house, look at the front of the house and say, no, let's move on to the next one. They didn't even get out of the car. I've seen buyers come to the front of the house, be really unimpressed, kind of have a feeling like, did you know we were coming? And then walk into the first room, usually an entry of some sorts, and if that wasn't staged well either, the whole tour just took on a sour note. You want them in a good mood when they're walking into your home. And it really starts right out here. So let's go ahead and talk about what I need to do for staging. Now, I do have an HOA that's going to take care of some things, and there's some things I'm not allowed to change because of the HOA, because I would, but I can't. So let's just work with what we've got. So the first thing we've got that I can change is, and this is real life, folks. I'm embarrassed, but I'm pointing it out because it is my reality. We had a sad little tree sitting here that we had to cut down because the HOA said, come on people, that is just so ugly. Well, it was so ugly, and I'm saying this because Ian's not here, because he planted it and he was so proud of it, but it tilted at such a weird angle, we actually had to tie it up so it would stand up straight. Did we take down those strands of yarn? No, we did not. I know, we should, we will, I promise. But you certainly can't have that when you're on the market. But the other thing I want to fess up to, because a lot of us have it, is look up. We don't look up there. We don't see things up there, but all of that has to be taken down. All of those little cobwebby things in the front of your house, just look up, bat them down. We come in through the garage, the majority of us, and we just don't notice it. We don't see it. Well, you cannot have it. Now, we're not allowed to change the garage door. But what we can do is we can scrub it and polish it and make it look brand new. And we will certainly do that. That's super important. We can also change these numbers. And let me tell you, there is nothing more aggravating for a realtor when she's pulling up to a house to not see the appropriate number. So this old dated brass 36, nobody can see that. We need to change that. And don't go too fancy with your numbers. Make them readable. That is not the time to have a fashion moment. Make them large and readable so people know what they're pulling up to. They've got a busy day ahead of them. They may be looking at 4 houses at once. Don't make them struggle to find yours. So what are we going to do down here? Well, we're going to get rid of the little pot, and what we're going to do is probably just add our own bush and take another bush out, because this is another piece that just doesn't look attractive. Take out anything that just isn't working. And if you planted it yourself and you've watched it grow, stop. It's a plant. Take it out, give a home to a new one, okay? Don't get too attached to a plant. Then over here, Ian planted 2 plants. And this is the other thing he planted. And as you can see, the HOA made us top it off. Yeah. Buddy needs to go too. Buddy's just not attractive. So when you look at your house, take a step back and really look at it objectively. And if you have this going on, it needs to change, okay? So do change it. This is another one. We're going to have to cut it down, and we're just going to have to go ahead, and if it's difficult with the roots to put another bush in, we're just going to get some nice pots. It's winter time, so pots are on sale now. I'll find a couple of pots on sale, something attractive, and put a small evergreen in them. I'm a big fan of small evergreens in pots because what they do is they pop color to the front of your home. In wintertime, nobody has color, so we're going to talk about popping color in your home. There's a lot I can't change. I can't change the paint color of the garage door, even though I'd like to, but I can change this. So pop a color, evergreen, it'll look fresh and new. Now, as we come down here, we have a good HOA, and they've already put in fresh mulch. which I was disappointed by because the reality was it looked terrible and it would have been a great before. But as you can see, fresh mulch looks great. It fills in the space. You get that lovely cedar scent and it just makes all the other colors pop forward. After a while, these will blow away, snow will get on them, they'll get dragged down the road, and we'll lose our mulch. If you have any areas in your lawn where you have bare spots, either reseed the spot, like we're going to do right here. This is just a little dead area, so this has to be reseeded. But over here by the tree, you notice it has fresh mulch. It was bare, and now it just looks so much more inviting. On your mulch, choose colors like chocolate brown. They have a wonderful charcoal color mulch out now that is beautiful. Stay away from the red. If you already have red mulch and you can't scoop that up, then go ahead and just fill it in. But red is a little bit dated. The chocolate browns and the charcoals and the blacks look fantastic. It's the same amount of money, and mulch is so affordable. What is it, $8 a bag, $10 a bag, and it goes so far. So as you come down the porch here, this is something we can live with, but we can't have for buyers. We put in a brand new little bush, and if this little bush doesn't grow fast, we're going to have to go ahead and get a bigger bush in there because we don't want anything to look like it's in transition. We want it to look like it's lush and inviting and ready for you. You know, we're not selling people a brand new home. There's going to be some dated areas. There's going to be some areas that are dated because I didn't stage them. It wasn't in the budget. And what they are going to get is an established neighborhood. They're going to get full mature trees. They're going to get a lot of good things. But one of the things we need to give them is a nice, modern, fresh look to anything that we can change. I can't give them a brand new house, but I can certainly give them mature bushes. So this little guy may actually come out, go to a different spot, and we'll put something that matches the size of the others in here. And then as you come along, this stuff that just sits in our life because it does, all of that has to come out. So if we don't hide the water hose, one thing we have to do is we have to make sure it's rolled up at all times. It's neat, it's out of the way. You don't want to leave anything that's going to be a tripping hazard in any way, shape, or form. Now, in the front of your house, as you can see, this is, well, here's a good example. This is concrete right here. Make sure you don't have any gaps. Make sure you don't have any gaps between these panels, and make sure you don't have any gaps here. See how this got filled in? That's really important. You know, people don't know the condition of your roof. They don't know how well your house has been maintained. They don't know what your plumbing looks like. But if they're walking up to your house and they see a gap where the front step is pulling away from the patio or the porch, that is not impressive. That tells them you don't take care of things. And again, nobody wants a honey-do list. Now, one thing I'm going to mention, because I see it all the time, and it's petty, but there you have it, is this little guy is supposed to have this little guy. And I cannot tell you how many times this little guy doesn't have anything. It should either have something like this, it should have a concrete panel that allows water to come down away from the house, or you should have a metal type spigot, a long metal spigot that comes down away from the house. You don't want to leave it free. I'm sure they all disappear in the wind somewhere, but you don't want to leave it free because that water then just starts working on your basement or it starts working on your foundation, and you don't want people to see that. Nobody wants foundation problems. So make sure that when you have this, you have the water shown as going away from the house. It's a minor issue, but it is an issue. Now, let's talk about, because we want this place to sparkle. I may not be able to change things because of the HOA, but I better make sure that I am changing what I can change. And the house needs a power wash. And all we have to do is just go ahead and give it a good rinsing. Not only is all of this just coating the windows, but there's a sheen on the wood as well. And when you power wash a house, it just decides to sparkle because all of that leftover dust and light sediment and everything else is now off your home. And it really kind of gives it a little bit of a glow. So every house should use a good washing. Now you may have a surface on your house that you don't want to power wash, make sure you Google the surface of your house, because some textures on houses can't take a power washing, and you need to know that. But if you have something like painted wood, like we do, then it most certainly can, and it should. And you rent them. You just go down and you rent them, and it's a fun job. So we're coming up the stairs, and guess what needs a coat of paint? This needs to sparkle. All we have to do is clean it, spray it, layer the outside with paper so the spray doesn't overspray, give it a good spray, make it shine. Everybody loses attention on this, and in your home it might be wood, it might be metal, but whatever you do, you need to refresh this. It's really important. You want to see sparkle when you come up to somebody's house. Remember, this is the biggest investment in their life, and you have to respect that. Now, Ian had a well-loved dog, Josie, and Josie looked just like this. So he loves these two little figurines. They're going. And the reason they're going is because I don't want to remind anybody that we had dogs in the house. Some people are very, very allergic, or they really just don't know what stains the dogs have created. They don't know what problems are waiting for them later on after the dogs are gone. It is really better if you can show no animal presence in your house. And if that's not possible, then hide the animal presence. If you have a laundry room and you have a cat, the kitty litter should go there. You have to really hide the presence of animals, because a lot of people or their kids have allergies, or for somebody like me, when I see that there were maybe 2 or 3 big dogs in the house, I immediately think, am I going to have any surprises on this floor? Am I going to be here on a humid day and start to smell somebody's accident? And so you just want to hide the art that shows the little doggies, hide the accessories that show the little doggies. If you can, if you have a cat, either put away or hide or move to a new spot, the cat climber. Just try and do those things. Nobody really wants to see signs of an animal, even if they have animals. So Iva was teasing me about my chair, and she said, oh, that's got to go. Well, yeah, it does. I'm ashamed. It was in the garage. The dogs were playing outside. Yeah, it has no business being here.
There's a Made in China sticker on it.
It's still a Made in China sticker? Yeah, I think I spent $8 on this thing. You don't want to greet people with this. Come on. The other thing you don't want to greet people with is this thing, but this is where Lulabelle, this is where all the dogs, I have 2 corgis, and this is where Mafanway's and Trevor's balls are kept. But you know what? It has to go. It also has to be cleaned up in the center. Now, again, I have an HOA, so what can I change? I can't change these. Unfortunately, I cannot change these. What I can do is I can make sure the bulb is fresh. I can clean inside this bulb. And what I could probably get away with, if this looks careworn, is I respraying it the same color. But I can't change this light from 1983, unfortunately. That has to stay. So what can I change? Well, we need a colorful, happy welcome mat. Now, this house happens to be going on the market in the summer. And I'm a big believer in putting color in the front of the house. So we're going to have color, we're going to have flowers, we're going to have things naturally growing in the summer. Say you are putting your house on the market in the winter. Remember those colorful pots I told you about? They're your best friend. And the beauty of it is you can get an inexpensive pot from a thrift store, and you can go ahead and get the right spray paint for it, even if it's plastic. There's spray paint now for plastics, which are marvelous, and paint them a red, a green, a blue, pop some color in the front of your house. If you're going on the market in the winter and you do that, the wonderful thing is nobody else is doing that. So people are going to pull up to your house, and they're going to see a happy space, and they're going to see inviting color, and they're going to be excited to open the door. So it's a very easy, simple thing you need to do for yourself. So wintertime, if this house was on the market, I would have a colorful pot right here. I'd have a colorful pot right here. No dog. I'd have a nice rich evergreen in there, so I wouldn't have to keep watering it or have anything dead in the pot. Of course, this will be replaced by a much nicer chair. And I would have a brightly colored welcome mat. Please don't get one that says go away. I see those a lot. I guess they're funny, but no, they're not. So make it say welcome or nothing, but make it colorful and inviting. And then remember, this is Ian's mom's house, right? And she was 92. So yeah, we can take that down. That doesn't need to be there. What does need to be here, besides being painted and repaired, is a bright wreath. Something fun, something bright and happy, a color. In the wintertime, you can get a wreath that's just loaded with red berries, and it's your best friend. Now, a lot of you have screen doors that are busted. I'll be honest with you. I take screen doors down. The reason I take screen doors down is if it's just the mesh that's busted, I'll take it down, I'll put it in the garage, and if they want to repair it, they can, or I'll put it in the basement. But I take them down because they don't add anything to the style of the house. And the other thing they don't do for you is they don't allow you to make the door something colorful and beautiful and inviting. They just kind of close up the space. So this door will stay on because it's in good condition, but if it wasn't, it would come off. Now, I can't paint this door, again, because of the HOA, but if it was a freestanding house and this was the color of my walls, I would absolutely paint this door, and I would paint it a wild color. I would paint it a beautiful navy blue, or I would paint it a great green, even if it was a deep sage green or charcoal. But I would make the door pop, and then when you put that wreath on, that really makes it pop as well. I don't have that option. I'm told what to do, but that's what I would do. Now, a lot of us have these, and they're dated as well. And I think that's something I can actually scrape off. If I find it is something I can scrape off, I will. Because that to me just says that an older person lives here. In my neighborhood, if you have to know, remember, who's your buyer? And I know my buyer is 55 and older, and they are coming here because they want a townhome, they want ease of maintenance, they want an HOA taking care of the lawn, they want the right neighborhood, and they want their luxury touches. A lot of times what they see is they'll see a house where somebody got old and then they either passed away or they moved to a nursing home. And a buyer can't help but think, oh, this has been pretty traumatic for the kids. They want to sell the house. They just want to get some money and, for mom and move on. And I don't want to show that. I don't want to show that I'm in a negative space selling my home. I want to show that this is a well-loved house, that is well taken care of, and we're just on another part of the journey of our life. We are not in a rush to sell it. We are not desperate to sell it, so please don't think about giving me a low offer. I want to say that, okay? So I think you might be able to meet the corgis in a second, if that's Ian. Nope, it's not. No Trevor today. So.
Oh, there are multiple of them.
Well, it's great. We have HOAs, so yay.
Woo!
But this is the tour of my entry, and this is what we've got, and I hope that also gives you some ideas for your entry. And let's go ahead and meet you inside.